Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. The news is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on all our partner stations across the 16 regions of the country. In the Western region, we are live on Premier FM 100.5, Sky Power FM 93.5 and Beach FM 105.5, all in Takrady. Bono region, we are live on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyain. Ashanti region, we are live on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. The news is also live around the world on citinewsroom.com. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up, government moves to clear backlog of over 70,000 unemployed health professionals.
We recognize the challenges of over 70,000 qualified health workers currently awaiting employment. But I want to assure you that we are working tirelessly to clear this backlog.
Also coming up, all set for the NPP's National Delegates Conference scheduled for tomorrow at the University of Ghana, as over 50 motions are expected to be tabled before the over 5,000 delegates.
Over 50 motions in a day's conference can all be considered.
Yes, all of them will be considered. We believe that by 4 p.m. we should be done.
Still ahead, birth certificate printing resumes as security papers arrive at the birth and death registry following reports of shortage.
The first batch of the specialized security feature papers have been printed by the Controller and Accountant General Department and supplied to the birth and death registry on 9th of July 2025.
And later, government pledges support for private universities in drive for inclusive higher education.
We will provide an enabling environment for private higher institutions to continue to do what you are doing.
All that and more on Citi Prime News, which is live in the Volta region on Holy FM 98.5 in Aplau, Northern region Dasuma FM 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu, and Upper West we are live on Bogli Radio 88.6 in Wa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for choosing us. Now, the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, says the first batch of security featured papers has been delivered to the Births and Deaths Registry to restore effective service delivery. The registry recently ran out of the special security paper used for printing birth certificate, causing widespread frustration among applicants across the country. The disruption was blamed on bureaucratic delays in the public procurement process. Responding to questions in Parliament, the Minister acknowledged the anxiety caused by the shortage and assured the House that the Controller and Accountant General's Department had intervened to supply the required papers.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to inform this August House that the first batch of the specialized security feature papers have been printed by the Controller and Accountant General Department and supplied to the Birth and Death Registry on 9th of July 2025 to enable the registry to serve the public effectively and efficiently. The Ministry wishes to assure the public that appropriate measures have been instituted to restore uninterrupted service delivery in the Birth and Death Registry.
The Minister further outlined measures being implemented to prevent such shortages in the future.
The registry has put in place the following measures to clear the backlog and prevent the reoccurrence of this unfortunate shortage, which affected the operations of the registry. A. Cleared and distributed first consignment of security papers to all regional offices. B. Issued directives to the to prioritize processing of pending applications. C. Instituted an early warning stock monitoring system to prevent reoccurrence. D. Engage the Controller and Accountant General to plan and initiate procurement process early enough to avoid such challenges.
Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim. Now, the chairman of the Planning Committee for the NPP's National Delegate Conference, Joseph Osei Owusu, has revealed that delegates will vote on more than 50 motions at tomorrow's event. According to him, the motions stem from a comprehensive review of over 300 constitutional proposals submitted to the party's amendment committee. He disclosed this in an exclusive interview with Citi News' Hansen Ajuman ahead of the conference tomorrow.
In all, we have about a little over 50 motions to be taken.
Because we've seen a document, about a 300-page document that was circulated to delegates, but you have 50 motions.
That is the compilation of the various proposals coming from different groups of people. Some of the proposals, or many of the proposals talk to the same issue. You may have one proposal, or one amendment, which would have about 50 proposed amendments. So what the motions are doing is consolidate the various issues that come around, and the members will be asked to vote upon those motions.
But we know, even though the proposals are similar, the thinking on how it should be differs. So, for instance, there are those who may think that polling station executives should be increased to 11. There are those who add other offices that pushes it to 19 or 20. How did the motion marry these differences?
Well, that is the work of the Constitutional Review Committee, very experienced one. Frank Davis is very many years my senior, and a few experienced Deputy Attorney General and so on. They have done the consolidation. I can't speak to the procedure they used, but I'm confident that the motions will cover all the areas that people raised issues on.
I ask this because as a planning committee chair, you would also be interested in how smooth things will go. Are these motions available, the finalized motions that they are going to vote on? Have delegates seen them?
I believe so. They have been printed into a booklet. And I think at the last general National Executive, Emergency and National Executive meeting, copies were shown, and from there it will be handed over to the General Secretary, who would circulate it for members to consider.
Over 50 motions in a day's conference can all be considered practically?
Yes, all of them will be considered. We believe that by 4 p.m. we should be done, because it is
overly ambitious, I believe.
You think so? We believe that members should return as soon as the conference is over. We don't intend to host or accommodate members for a second day.
That was Chairman of the Planning Committee for the NPP's National Delegate Conference, Joseph Osei Owusu, in that interview with my colleague Hansen Ajuman, who joins us live via telephone. Hansen, good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Hawa.
Very well. So we know that over 50 motions are expected to be voted on by the over 5,000 delegates. What are the sources of these motions?
So what we have been told by the party is that the review committee chaired by Frank Davis considered 3 sets of documents. The first being the Professor Michael Quay Committee report, which looked into the causes of the party's loss. The second being a report by a committee chaired by Alexander Afenyomark in 2019, which dealt with proposals for the election, for proposals for amendment of the party's constitution. And then the final document had to do with proposals that were received from the rank and file of the party. We've seen some of these proposals. We know that Cabinet Japan, he sent some, Obi Amwa, the host of other party officers, other elective officers like the Nassar coordinator, the women organizer. We also know that even Howard Kumsin has also sent a proposal. And so these three documents are the basis upon which the committee has come out with over 50 motions based on which delegates are expected to vote on Saturday.
Now, what specific motions relate to the organization of the party at the various levels?
So we know that at the polling station level, the party currently has 5 polling station executives, and they have been the call to expand this. But our sources within the party say they looked at the proposals, they looked at the economic impact in, for instance, organizing party events and perhaps even taking care of transportation and accommodation. And so they've decided to restrict it to 2 additional officers. And so at the polling station level, there'll be a motion to increase the number of executives from 5 to 7, and the additional 2 will be the communication officer and the electoral affairs officer. At the electoral area level, the party now has an electoral area coordinator, and the electoral area demarcation, according to the party's constitution, where there are more than 10 polling stations in a particular electoral area, the party may constitute another electoral area. So there's going to be a proposal to now adopt the Electoral Commission's demarcation of electoral areas. And then the party is going to deviate from the practice of having just one electoral area coordinator to now having an electoral area executive committee that is going to consist of 5 persons, including the chairman, secretary, organizer, we are told the electoral area affairs coordinator and research officer. At the constituency level, we are told that the structure at the moment is being maintained. However, from the constituency to the national level, there's going to be a decoupling of the research and the elections officers. So currently what the party has is that you have one person being the research and elections director. They are going to decouple that to have separate officers. But in addition to this, at the constituency level, there's going to be 2 additional officers. So one will be the decoupled office, and another will be the PWD coordinator. At the regional level, a similar situation will be seen, but just that there will be an addition of a legal affairs officer. And then at the national level, already there's a legal affairs officer at the national level. And so you will just be seeing a decoupling of the research and elections officers, and then the appointment of persons with disability director.
Very well. Now, what of the expansion of the delegate system to accommodate more delegates in the electoral role for the presidential and parliamentary elections of the party?
So we are told by the party, sources within the party, that the contemplation was to do a one-man, one-vote system. But after deliberations, they came to the conclusion that it was not practical at the moment. And so there's going to be a suggestion to the National Delegates Conference to begin to put together a roadmap to make sure that in the nearby future, the NPP can do a one-man, one-vote system. But we are told that when it comes to voting, all the limited expansions that I've already talked about as far as the executive officers are concerned will be able to vote in the presidential election. And then there would be an expansion to former officers, so former constituency executives, former regional executives, former national executives, and former external branch executives, as well as you would see an expansion to include former appointees like the former MMDCs, former ministers or deputy ministers who are card-bearing members, former parliamentary candidates, and former MPs. All these persons will be given an opportunity to participate in the presidential primaries with limited considerations for parliamentary, being that if you're a former constituency executive, you would be now allowed to vote in the parliamentary primaries of the constituency that you were an executive.
Very well, thank you so much for your time. Hansen Ajuman is my colleague here at 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Now, the event will be live on Citi FM as well as Channel 1 TV. Do make a date with us tomorrow. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, government moves to clear backlog of over 70,000 unemployed health professionals. We have details of that plus other stories coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Are you searching for a world-class conferencing facility to elevate your next event? Do you need a bougie look for that all-important corporate, board meeting or private social event? The Alisa Pavilion has an unmatched capacity. Our expansive conference center comfortably seats 1,000 persons in a theater-style setup. This makes it ideal for large conferences, product launches, weddings, social events, and exhibitions. There are 2 executive boardrooms set up for your high-profile meetings. With the importance of seamless technology integration, our facilities are equipped to support your audiovisual needs. Looking for an oasis of bliss? Saunter into our Oasis Lounge and Bistro on Thursdays for Thirsty Thursday, while you enjoy a whopping 15% discount. Make a date for Saturday Barbecue, where we have alfresco dining for nature lovers in our lush manicured lawns, while you savor lip-smacking dishes. The Alisa Hotel Pavilion, where great minds convene and beautiful memories are created. Alisa Hotels, our Aquaba means more than just welcome.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. The Minister of Health, Kwabena Minta Akando, has announced that government has paid 603 million cedis in arrears owed under the National Health Insurance Scheme as of 2024. This payment addresses outstanding debts following concerns raised by private healthcare providers over persistent delays in claim reimbursement. Speaking at the Government Accountability Series, the minister noted that increased funding to the NHIS has boosted allocations for claims payment, rising from 56.2% in 2024 to 65% in 2025.
Our biggest asset in healthcare is our people, the dedicated nurses, doctors, allied health professionals, pharmacists, and all supporting staff who serve Ghana every day. We recognize the challenges of over 70,000 qualified health workers currently awaiting employment, but I want to assure you that we are working tirelessly to clear this backlog. In the past 6 months alone, we have successfully finalized the employment process of over 10,000 nurses and midwives, with many more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to share that we have taken decisive steps to clear the salary arrears for 321 pharmacist house officers who completed training in 2024, with payment now being processed, while 1,621 qualified pharmacists await permanent employment. We are prioritizing their recruitment as part of strengthening our health workforce. This is just one example of our broader commitment to clearing the backlog across all health worker cadres, ensuring every qualified professional has the chance to serve and strengthen Ghana's health system.
Meanwhile, government says it has already released funds for the construction of approximately 600 community-based health planning and services compounds across the country by the end of 2025.
We remain committed to closing infrastructure and equipment gaps through domestic investment and partnership with private sector. However, there are still gaps. Many facilities need renovations, new equipment, and dependable maintenance system. We commit to bridging these gaps through domestic investment and international partnerships, primarily through private partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, Notwithstanding these challenges, we remain resolute as part of our firm commitment to fulfilling campaign promises and transforming healthcare infrastructure, particularly in underserved areas. The government has released funding to every district assembly to support the construction of at least 2 new CHIPS compounds each year. This investment brings quality health services closer to communities and shows our government dedication to building a stronger, healthier Ghana from the ground.
Health Minister Kwabena Minta Akando. The Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association has welcomed the disbursement of funds to clear 6 months of arrears owed nursing trainees. The Ministry of Health has released 462 million cedis for this purpose, fulfilling a key commitment made by President Mahama ahead of the 2024 general elections. Speaking to Citi News, President of the association, Pascal Adumbisa, acknowledged the government's effort and urged the release of outstanding allowances for first-year students and rotational nurses.
So with the payment that has made so far, we can see that we are grateful to the government for staying true to their promise and making a disbursement of 6 months to our people. And just as we are still grateful to the government, some of our members have not yet received. As we speak now, the current first years have not received their allowances. Students who just completed and are currently doing their rotation, who have been owed some months to, have not received. Some students who are also currently in school have not yet received. But in general, we are grateful for the disbursement, and I think we are currently happy to have seen that some amount, not all, but some amount has been of effort has been made to our students, which is going to cushion them and stepping them as the academic challenges the case as the financial strains with this is concerned. Within my tenure of office, I've always been saying that it's high time policymakers and government as a whole view the allowance in the sense of not being only a campaign promise or something to gain power, but to looking at the importance of it. Because when you look at the weightiness of the allowance to training nurses and midwives, it's so steady for that nobody should deny. Because these are students that, whilst even they are in school, they augment the health delivery in the various health facilities.
President of the Ghana Nurse Midwife Trainees Association, Pascal Adumbisa. The Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, has assured of a more inclusive higher education system that supports both the public and private institutions. He says government will create an enabling environment for private universities to keep expanding access to quality education. He made this known after paying a working visit to the Wisconsin International University College in Accra. He stressed that private institutions play a key role in building human capital, widening access, and driving national development.
So we hope that you explore avenues for creating a more inclusive framework that supports both public and private education. On our part, we will provide an enabling environment for private higher institutions to continue to do what you are doing. I will conclude by asking a rhetoric question. Imagine what would have happened to the category of students in your school if we never ever exposed and gave them an opportunity of private provision of higher education. Where would those young people have been today? That should explain the contribution you are making to 1, Ghana's human capital development, 2, expanding access to relevant quality higher education, and more importantly to the development of our country. It remains my faith that we are better off with a literate unemployed population than an illiterate unemployed population.
The Education Minister also says he's hopeful the National Teaching Council will allow the current cohorts of teacher trainees another opportunity to resit the licensure exams before his August 30 deadline. This comes after his earlier directive to the council to finalize arrangement for a final sitting of the exams, which are being phased out as part of a transition to a new system for assessing teacher qualifications. The minister made the remarks during a visit to the Accra Senior High School, one of the centers where the exams are being held. He assured that the new framework will not compromise the quality of teachers.
I trust that the National Teachers Council will, before end of August, as was announced, give this cohort another opportunity for a receipt. Our government takes appropriate and necessary measures to integrate licensure into the final exams of the next cohort of students that will be passing out of teacher and teacher-related universities and educational training colleges across the country. We are honoring the manifesto pledge, albeit we will accept inputs to improve it, because for us, that decision should not compromise the quality of teachers that we have, that Ghana must have. So we are still committed to providing for quality teachers.
Haruna Idrisu is Education Minister. Security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaji is urging the government to clarify President Mahama's proposal for regional recruitment into the Ghana's security services. During his thank you tour of the Western North region on Tuesday, July 15, President Mahama indicated that financial clearance would soon be granted for the recruitment of personnel into the police, military, immigration and other agencies. Speaking to Citi News, Colonel Abuaji welcomed the move but stated that the process must be transparent and aligned with constitutional requirements.
We're all aware, and we should be reminded, that in the immediate past, certain politicians were bragging that they were able to facilitate the recruitment of 4,000 plus people into the security services. And they did not explain how they got their nominees into the security services. In other words, there was no transparency. Then there was no fairness. There was no equity. Because unless you were known by a certain politician, you did not have or stand a good chance of getting recruited. Now, this president's statement of regional quotas addresses that.
He also cautioned that implementing a strict quota system where recruitment slots are evenly distributed across all 16 regions could pose regions.
The regions don't have equal population, and therefore the quota system should not mean that you divide the number of recruiting capacity by 16. No, that will not be fair. They have to be proportionate. You then ask a regional minister, for instance, by whatever means, to bring you X number of people or names for recruitment. Because again, that would not be the way that recruitment should be done. But I don't think the president meant the scenario that I painted. So we now need to engage with the presidency or the staffers for better clarity about what this intention is.
Security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaji retired. Now, the Ghana Kentucky Taiko True II is urging authorities in both London and Accra to collaborate on effective waste management strategies. He believes the two cities could benefit greatly from an exchange program to share best practices. Kentucky Taiko True II made the remarks during a courtesy call by the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, on the Ghana and the Ghana Traditional Council.
Just like London, we want to develop Accra into a safe, sustainable, future-proof city that works for the people within the context of our culture and our tradition, norms, and usage. In this regard, Accra and London can learn a lot from each other. One of the ways we can do so is to establish an accredited exchange program between London and Accra.
He heard the Ghana Kentucky Taiko True II. For his part, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, expressed delight at meeting the Ghana. His visit forms part of a planned tour of selected African countries aimed at deepening diplomatic and cultural ties.
This is, as you've ascertained, my first time in Accra, and the first time ever that a Mayor of London has visited Africa on official business. Now, this week I'm meeting leaders, policymakers, investors, and innovators in Lagos, Accra, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, to strengthen ties and usher in a new era of partnership. So of course I had to come to pay a courtesy call to His Royal Majesty King Taki Taika Turu II.
You heard the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, ending today's edition of the City Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Do have a great weekend.
City News.